Hey everyone, so you obviously have a substitute, and this is what you're going to be doing today. You are going to finish the Seed Dispersal Engineering Design Challenge. So you're going to do questions 1 through 5, and then you're going to work on the online graphing lab. That's in Google Classroom. No homework for the weekend. If you don't finish the online graphing lab, you're going to have more time to work on it on Tuesday. All right, so to do numbers 4 and 5 for the seed dispersal activity, you're going to need to open up the SCP and CCC Google Doc in Google Classroom. And so, like question 4 says, which of the science and engineering practices from the list do we put to work in this challenge? Explain with evidence and examples. So, for instance, like this, it says here, science and engineering practices, developing and using models. We definitely did that, right? We made a model of a seed. So you'd write for your answer for number 4, developing and using models, and the example is we created a model of a seed. But there are other ones on there, so you're going to have 4 or 5 examples from the science and engineering practices for number 4.
The very first Friday activity, Friday game, will take place next week on September 3rd. Until then, enjoy tonight's Friday music and have a great weekend, Liz.
Thanks, Mr. Green. Okay, number 5, you're doing the cross-cutting concepts. That's this one right here. So did you see patterns? Did we see cause and effect and so on? Whatever you see here, what's the example you saw when you did the seed dispersal activity? After you're done with the 5 questions, you're going to then do the online graphing activity. And look at these directions. There's a ton of directions. You have to follow each direction very, very, very carefully. Don't skip any directions, otherwise you're going to get lost. When you click here, when you click here, you're going to get this website. And then you're going to click on create graph. And then the directions say click on bar graph. Then the directions say click on data. And then you got to think of a title. So you got to look at the data table and you have to look at the title of the data table. Well, the title of the data table in the first graph is what kind of foods do Demogorgons prefer? So that's what you put for the graph title, Demogorgon food preference. Then the directions say what should go on the x-axis. Well, you got different food items like horses and trees, bunnies and grass, and then you have the percent of food preferred. Well, whatever gets measured in an experiment always goes on the y-axis. So that means percent preferred food was measured. So that's going to go on the y. And then the types of food goes on the x. And then the directions say to skip source. And then you're going to fill in the items. Well, we had 5 items, right? We had horses, hawks, bunnies, trees, and grass. Then you put in, and by the way, you shouldn't be doing this on your computer right now. You should be watching me and then do it. Then put in the values for each one that's in the data table. This is the data. These are the numbers that are in the data table. You notice this is auto-populating for me. It's not going to auto-populate for you because I did this earlier. Then it tells you to put in the min and maximum value. Well, we need to find a range that's a little bit bigger than 2 to 45. So we can do 0 as the minimum and 50 as the maximum. And then what the directions don't say that I forgot to put in is when you want to see your graph, when you're done putting all these things in based on what the directions tell you to do, you click on preview. And there's your graph. Then you want to take a screenshot of this, and you see right here on the Chromebooks, to take a screenshot, you push Control and this this button that's at the top of your keyboard at the same time, and it takes a screenshot. And then, so you have a screenshot of the graph you made, and you put it right here in this empty place right here, where it says copy and paste graph here. Okay, so you're going to do that for the rest of the period. So, I thought I had another slide here for you. So essentially, finish the 5 questions for seed dispersal, and then do online graphing activity. Again, you'll have time on Tuesday to do the online graphing activity if you don't finish here today, and have a great weekend. Bye, everyone.